Christina Milian just shook the internet without even trying, because if these new claims are even half true, then the story she's allegedly been hiding for almost 15 years is darker than anyone imagined. For years, fans have seen the cute rom-com roles, the glossy music videos, the beignet box smiles in LA, but now people online are connecting old interviews, resurfaced clips, and quiet comments about almost losing her life. And it all points to one chilling moment: a gun, a locked room, and a young Christina who thought she might not make it out. We're talking about an alleged relationship from her late teens that fans say she's only ever hinted at in pieces. A controlling partner, explosive arguments, and that one night where, according to online speculation, things went so far that a weapon was pulled and everything changed. No names, no timelines, just fragments. Until now. Tonight, we're breaking down the interviews, the body language, the "I was terrified" confessions that viewers are replaying frame by frame. Did Christina quietly reveal more than anyone realized? Or is social media twisting her trauma into something else entirely? Let's get into how this whole mystery even started. From the moment these new claims about Christina's past started circulating, people online have been replaying her old interviews like detectives searching for clues. Fans say the way she spoke about her late teenage years always felt heavy, almost like she was trying to keep certain memories locked away. But now, resurfaced clips have triggered a wave of discussion, with viewers insisting they hear something different in her voice, something shaken beneath the polished performance. According to online speculation, this was the period when she was allegedly involved with someone much older, someone who had a charming smile in public but a dangerous temper behind closed doors. And the way people describe it, Christina may have been living a life her fans never imagined. The whispers say it started during the early days of her career, back when she was moving between rehearsals, auditions, and long studio hours, trying to balance hope with survival. She was young, ambitious, and surrounded by people who seemed to have all the power. That is where, according to these claims, she met a man who struck her as confident and protective, the kind of person who could open doors for her. Friends who were around her at the time now recall moments that feel different in hindsight. One of them, as shared online, remembered visiting her apartment and noticing how tense she became when her phone rang. She would grab it instantly, lower her voice, almost whispering as if she didn't want anyone else to hear the conversation. At the time, her friends chalked it up to normal relationship pressure, new love nerves, the kind of thing any young person might go through. But now, fans watching those accounts say it sounds like fear. In one resurfaced clip, Christina talks about being in a bad situation when she was younger, hinting that she couldn't leave because she felt trapped. She doesn't give many details, but she says enough to make people pause. She talks about the anxiety, the unpredictability, how she felt like she had to minimize herself to keep the peace. Online discussions point out how she kept saying she didn't recognize the girl she had become during that time. People are now asking why she felt that way and what was going on behind the scenes. According to the speculation spreading across social media, the relationship shifted quickly from affectionate to controlling. One moment, he would shower her with compliments, telling her she was destined for greatness, and the next moment, he would lash out over the smallest things. Fans describe the story the way they imagine it: a slammed door, a raised voice, the fear of sudden mood changes. Someone online said they believe Christina was constantly being monitored, not in an obvious way, but who she was texting, who she was talking to, how long she stayed somewhere, why she looked tired after rehearsal. These claims paint a picture of someone who was slowly losing her sense of safety. One of the most discussed parts of the speculation comes from a comment Christina made years ago, long before anyone started digging into this timeline. She said her laughter didn't feel like her own during that period. And now, with the new attention on her past, people are wondering what she meant by that. Fans say that when she talked about losing her spark, there was a sadness in her tone that didn't feel rehearsed. For a performer who built her career on confidence, style, and stage presence, the idea that she once hid fear behind a smile is hitting viewers hard. As the claims continue, there's a moment in her older interview that has gone viral again. In it, she describes a day when she left a gathering early because she felt someone would show up and cause trouble. She laughs nervously while saying it, brushing it off like it wasn't serious. But online investigators, in their dramatic style, are treating it like a puzzle piece. They're asking whether she was hinting at that same relationship, the one she never fully named. One user wrote that her eyes looked like someone who remembered too much but couldn't say more, and that comment alone sparked thousands of replies. Stories being shared online claim that her friends tried to intervene more than once, noticing how she became withdrawn and jumpy, how she stopped going out as much. One supposed account says that she began keeping her phone face down on the table and checking the time every few minutes, habits that can sometimes come from constant pressure or fear of upsetting someone. The way fans are describing it, Christina may have felt like she was walking on a thin line, always trying to avoid setting off another argument. The drama deepens when online conversation shifts to one night people believe changed everything for her. This is the moment fans think she referenced in that rare old interview when she said she almost didn't make it out. She never mentioned what exactly happened, but she said something about a single moment that made her feel like her life could end over a misunderstanding. That one quote is now fueling countless threads filled with speculation. People are imagining a tense room, raised voices, maybe a confrontation that spiraled too quickly. And the most unsettling rumor is the one where, according to online claims, a weapon may have been involved, a night where she allegedly felt real danger. The speculation says she tried to leave, but he blocked the door. Some commenters describe it the way they imagine it, her voice shaking as she says she needs space, him refusing to let her go, the energy in the room turning cold. There is even a dramatic theory circulating that he allegedly grabbed something from a drawer, something that made her freeze in place. Fans are filling in the blanks, imagining the fear she must have felt, the shock, the disbelief that someone she trusted could turn threatening. And though none of this is confirmed, the storytelling around it has grown so intense that people talk about it as if they lived that moment with her. One viewer wrote that if these claims hold any truth, then Christina's strength today is even more impressive. They say the way she carries herself now, with calmness, maturity, and confidence, makes the imagined contrast with her past even more dramatic. Others are speculating that this moment, whatever it really was, might have been the turning point that pushed her toward independence. They point to how her career evolved afterward, how she took on bolder roles, how she seemed more sure of herself in interviews, how she started talking openly about rebuilding her life. It's become a central theory in the online narrative that her resilience didn't grow out of success, but out of surviving. Something frightening. And as fans continue digging up timelines, comparing stories, connecting interviews, and sharing their theories, the focus keeps returning to Christina's tone whenever she speaks about that age. People notice the pauses, the way she looks down, the way her voice softens when she mentions fear or control. They say she sounds like someone who held on to a painful memory for years. Her supporters online are now describing her as someone who went through a storm in silence, someone who had to choose her moment to walk away, someone who learned early how dangerous love can feel when it twists into something else. Even the interviews where she seems relaxed are being re-examined. People point out that whenever the topic of young relationships comes up, her energy shifts subtly, almost like a reflex. One fan said, "It's the kind of reaction that comes from remembering a room you never want to step inside again." And as the speculation spreads, so does the sympathy, with many expressing surprise that she may have carried this weight for so long without ever fully telling the story. What makes the narrative even more gripping is how quietly she handled her life afterward. She didn't make dramatic public statements. She didn't expose anyone. She simply kept moving, smiling, performing, working, building, as if she had taken everything painful and turned it into fuel. And that image, paired with these new discussions, has fans more invested than ever in understanding what really happened during those years when she was still figuring out who she was and who she could trust. As more people revisited those old interviews, the conversation online shifted from quiet sympathy to full-blown curiosity. Fans started piecing together fragments of stories Christina shared over the years, imagining the emotional weight she must have carried behind the scenes. One moment, she was rising fast in her career, smiling through photo shoots and rehearsals, and the next, she was dealing with personal chaos no one around her fully understood. The speculation paints a picture of a young woman juggling dreams and fear at the same time, trying to protect her image while also trying to protect herself. Some viewers describe her early success as a double-edged sword. On one side, she had opportunity, admiration, and a future that seemed wide open. On the other side, she was surrounded by people who didn't always want the best for her, people who saw her as vulnerable because she was young and hungry for a chance. The man at the center of these rumors, according to all the online chatter, allegedly took advantage of that vulnerability. Fans imagine him as someone who appeared charming, someone who made her feel safe in the beginning, almost like he understood her better than anyone else. But as the claims suggest, that comfort didn't last. The way online discussions describe it, the relationship slowly shifted into something heavier, something tense, something unpredictable. People talk about how her behavior changed during that time, how she pulled back from some friends and stopped talking about the things that made her happy. One person shared an old magazine interview where Christina admitted she stopped trusting her instincts during a certain period of her youth. At the time, no one questioned why she said something so personal in such a casual conversation. Now, those words are being dissected like hidden clues. According to rumors, the man allegedly began isolating her, not in big dramatic ways, but through subtle pressure. Fans imagine scenes where she arrives home from a long day of recording, hoping for comfort, only to be met with interrogation. Who did you talk to? Why didn't you call back? Why were you out so long? People are analyzing her old expressions and trying to read between the lines, saying she looked tired in certain photos, like someone carrying too much inside. One theory circulating is that she tried to hide her stress by working harder, believing that if she stayed busy enough, she wouldn't have to deal with the tension waiting for her at home. What makes the narrative even more intense is the idea that she didn't know how to escape. Commenters say she might have felt responsible for his emotions, like if she changed her behavior just enough, things would stay calm. That's a feeling many people relate to, especially those who have been in difficult relationships. And the more threads pop up about this part of her life, the more people recognize pieces of their own experiences in the story. But the moment that keeps resurfacing in online discussions is that night, the one people think Christina hinted at when she spoke about nearly losing everything. Fans imagine her voice shaking as she described it years later, even though she never gave detailed information. In the clip, she said there was a moment where she felt small and powerless, and that she realized she had to choose between staying in fear or finding a way out. She spoke softly, almost like she was trying not to relive it fully. The internet took that softness and turned it into a full narrative, filling in the missing details with speculation and dramatic interpretation. Some people believe the night involved an argument that escalated far beyond what she expected. Maybe she tried to leave. Maybe she finally raised her voice after months of staying quiet. Maybe she said she needed space. The online theories describe him reacting instantly, grabbing her arm, blocking her path, refusing to let her walk away. The tension in these imagined scenes is heavy, almost cinematic, but fans say it matches the emotional energy she carried when she later talked about that time. Even though Christina never described these exact moments, the internet is drawing conclusions based on the way she paused and lowered her eyes when speaking about being scared. And then there is the most intense part of the speculation, the claim that during That confrontation, he allegedly reached for something that terrified her. People online have described it in dramatic detail, saying she must have felt frozen, her breath caught in her chest, unable to process what was happening. They imagined the room silent except for her heartbeat, the air thick with danger, the feeling that one wrong move could change everything. These are not facts, but the way fans are interpreting her interviews has created a storyline that feels real to them. Some viewers wrote that when they look at Christina now, confident and calm, it's almost impossible to picture her in that kind of moment. But others say that her strength now is exactly why they believe she survived something harsh. They say her grounded energy, her warmth, her poise comes from rebuilding herself after being torn down. Many believe that night might have been the breaking point she needed to finally walk away, the moment she realized her future depended on leaving. Rumors online even suggest that one of her close friends may have witnessed the aftermath. Someone posted a story about how she allegedly showed up at a friend's apartment late at night, shaking, unable to speak at first. The friend supposedly sat her down, made her tea, and told her she had to get out before things got worse. People say this may have been the first time she admitted to anyone what she had been going through. Though there is no confirmation of this, the story spread quickly and added even more intensity to the discussion. Another dramatic theory circulating is that she might have disappeared for a few days after that night, shutting off her phone, staying with someone she trusted while planning her next move. Fans imagine her waking up with swollen eyes, still trying to process how close she came to something irreversible. They talk about how painful it must have been to pack her things quietly, making sure he wouldn't know she was leaving. Some say she probably felt guilty for leaving him, even though she was the one who was scared. That emotional conflict is something many people connect to, making the story feel even more layered. The way people tell it, she didn't leave with anger. She left with exhaustion. She left with the realization that she couldn't keep shrinking herself just to keep someone else from exploding. The theories say she changed her number, moved her belongings, and cut off communication completely, making sure he couldn't find her. Fans imagine her taking a deep breath that first night alone, feeling a strange mix of relief and heartbreak. And once she stepped away, she didn't look back. There are discussions about how her confidence slowly returned, how she began laughing again without forcing it, how she began trusting people who genuinely cared for her. In old interviews, she describes a period of rediscovery, and now those words are being interpreted as the emotional healing that followed the fear. People believe she took that pain and turned it into strength, and that everything she achieved afterward came from a place of rebuilding. As these speculations spread, more people are re-watching her performances and noticing the shift in her energy. Some say her eyes became brighter, her smile more genuine, her presence more grounded. It's as if she stepped out of a shadow and into her own light. Whether or not the rumors are completely accurate, the emotional journey she hinted at has sparked a wave of empathy and admiration. Fans now say they understand why she carries herself the way she does, with quiet strength and patience, like someone who learned a long time ago not to give her peace away lightly. And with every piece of speculation, every imagined moment, the emotional portrait becomes richer, painting Christina as someone who didn't just survive a chapter of fear, but transformed it into the foundation of her resilience. As the online discussions kept growing, more people began examining how Christina rebuilt her life. After stepping away from that dark chapter, they weren't just focusing on the imagined night of fear anymore. Now, the attention was on the aftermath, the quiet months where she started over without telling anyone what she had been through. The speculation around those early days of her healing is intense, with fans creating entire narratives about what her daily life might have looked like. People imagine her waking up in a small apartment, the morning light creeping in while she tried to remind herself that the danger was behind her. They picture her breathing slowly, almost cautiously, as if expecting another shock before fully trusting her freedom. Online discussions describe those days as some of the most transformative in her life. Commenters say they believe she went through a process where every simple thing felt unfamiliar at first. Making coffee without someone questioning her, picking her own outfits without criticism, walking outside without checking over her shoulder. They imagine her sitting by a window at night, replaying her past, trying to make sense of how she ended up in such a painful situation. Some fans talk about how healing often looks boring from the outside, but feels like a battle on the inside, and they believe Christina fought that quiet battle day after day. One of the theories getting the most attention involves her returning to work only a few weeks after leaving. Fans think she threw herself into her craft not because she felt ready, but because she needed something steady to hold on to. They describe her stepping into a studio with a controlled smile, greeting everyone politely, even though she might have still been trembling on the inside. People imagine her adjusting her headphones, listening to the music, and letting it drown out the echoes of everything she had left behind. The idea that she used her work as a shield has become a major part of the online narrative. Viewers have also pointed out moments where she seemed extra emotional during performances from that period. There are videos where she closes her eyes for a few seconds longer than usual, or where she takes a deep breath before continuing a song. Fans now treat those small expressions as signs of someone holding a lot inside. They say that if the rumors are true, then she was performing with a heart that was still raw, still healing, still learning how to trust the world again. Some people even claim that her voice carried more depth during those years, like pain had carved out new space inside her for emotion. Another popular theory says her relationships shifted dramatically after that event. Online discussions suggest she became more selective about who she let into her life. People believe she kept certain individuals at a distance, not out of coldness, but out of self-protection. They imagine her carefully observing the people around her, looking for signs of temper or controlling behavior, refusing to ignore even the smallest red flags. Fans say she learned to listen to the part of herself that sensed danger, a part she had once ignored, and that new awareness shaped her future connections. Rumors also say that she spent time with a close-knit circle of friends during this rebuilding phase. These friends, according to fan theories, encouraged her to rediscover pieces of herself she had lost. People think they took her out for small dinners, long walks, quiet nights watching movies, anything that made her feel safe again. Some imagine her laughing for the first time in months, surprised at how good it felt, almost like she was meeting her own voice again. And while none of this is confirmed, fans have created a story that resonates deeply with those who have survived similar heartbreak. The discussions go even deeper when it comes to trust. Many believe that after such a terrifying experience, Christina may have struggled to trust her own judgment. Commenters say she might have blamed herself, wondering how she didn't see the warning signs sooner. They imagine her talking to herself late at night, reminding herself it wasn't her fault, reminding herself she deserved better. One online thread describes healing as a slow process of relearning your worth, and fans say Christina embodied that journey in everything she did afterward. As these conversations grew, people also noticed how her career choices shifted. She seemed to gravitate toward projects that required confidence and independence, roles where the character stands up for herself or reclaims her power. Fans interpret this as more than coincidence. They think she chose roles that connected with her personal rebirth, even if she never said it out loud. The way she carried herself on camera, the subtle boldness in her posture, the spark in her eyes, viewers say it felt like someone who had walked through fire and refused to let the flames define her. Some fans also pointed out her charitable work and her tendency to uplift other women in interviews. She often spoke about strength, self-respect, and intuition, and now people are replaying those moments through the lens of her rumored past. The internet believes she was trying to encourage others to trust themselves, to walk away when something feels wrong, to value their peace. And while she never framed her advice as part of her own survival story, the speculation suggests it may have come from a deeply personal place. One of the most emotional parts of the narrative is the idea that once she stepped into healthier relationships, she finally saw how much she had endured. Fans imagine her meeting someone kind and patient, someone who didn't raise their voice, someone who listened instead of demanding. They describe her feeling confused at first, unsure whether she could trust the gentleness, almost suspicious of kindness because it felt unfamiliar. This part of the speculation is resonating strongly with viewers who have gone through similar experiences, making the story feel even more real to them. And then there's the idea that her family also sensed the shift. Online discussions say they believe her family members noticed how tense she had been before and how relieved she seemed afterward. People imagine her mother hugging her tightly when she showed up unexpectedly, trying not to ask too many questions, but glad to see the light back in her eyes. Her siblings, according to speculation, may have teased her gently to bring out her smile, wanting her to feel normal again. These imagined scenes add tenderness to the dramatic narrative built itself across social media. Fans also began to reinterpret her later relationships through this emotional lens. They say they can now see how her choices reflect a deeper understanding of what healthy love feels like. People imagine her appreciating small gestures, the kind that show consistency rather than control. They talk about how she seems more relaxed around partners who respect her autonomy, more open when she feels safe, more expressive when she feels seen. This interpretation has sparked conversations about healing, how it changes a person's standards, how it teaches them to recognize genuine love. Rumors also suggest she might have confided in a close circle of trusted friends somewhere along the way. Online threads describe her sitting with them during late-night conversations, finally sharing glimpses of what she had endured. Her friends, according to these imagined accounts, may have been the ones who reminded her she was stronger than she realized. The ones who told her she deserved a life without fear. The ones who encouraged her to keep moving forward. People say this kind of support is often the invisible backbone of healing. As she entered a more stable phase of life, fans think she started viewing her art differently too. Some believe her performances carried new depth, shaped by everything she had learned about pain and resilience. They point to certain expressions she made on stage, the way she moved, the emotion in her voice, saying it felt like someone who had lived through storms and refused to be defined by them. This interpretation has given her performances a new kind of respect, with viewers admiring not just the music, but the strength they believe lies beneath it. The narrative grows even more emotional when discussions turn to her becoming a mother. Many fans believe motherhood grounded her in a way nothing else could. They imagine her holding her child for the first time and promising herself she would never allow the cycle of fear to repeat. People say that becoming a parent after surviving something traumatic can shift a person's entire worldview, making them even more protective of peace, stability, and emotional safety. This imagined transformation has become a central part of the online story, with commenters describing it as the moment she fully reclaimed her life. Some threads also highlight how she seemed to step into a more peaceful era, living with purpose and intention. People describe her dividing her time between creative work, family, travel, and personal growth. They talk about how she seems happier, more balanced, more grounded than ever before. And as this narrative circulates, fans say this is the version of her that inspires them most, the one who survived pain, healed, and built a life filled with joy. But the speculation reached its peak when viewers revisited an older interview where she quietly mentioned, "A moment I'll never forget." a moment that changed who I became. She didn't explain it further, but the internet treated those words like a confession, believing she was referring to the night she allegedly faced real danger. People say her voice softened during that sentence, her eyes reflecting something deeper, something unspoken. Whether or not the rumor is true, fans took it as confirmation that she overcame something life-altering. As the online narrative continued expanding, people also discussed her silence. Many believe she never revealed details because she didn't want to be defined by fear or pity. They say she chose dignity over sensationalism, choosing to speak in gentle hints rather than dramatic stories. Commenters admire that choice, saying it shows strength, grace, and a desire to move forward rather than stay anchored in a painful past. Others believe she remained quiet to protect her mental peace. They imagine her making a conscious decision to let healing happen privately, sharing only what she felt comfortable with. They say this kind of privacy is a sign of maturity, especially for someone living under the spotlight. And as fans talk about her now, the overwhelming tone is admiration. Admiration for her silence, for her courage, for the way she carried herself with calmness instead of anger. Even the way she interacts with fans is now being reinterpreted. People say her warmth, her kindness, her relaxed demeanor feel like someone who has rebuilt her soul piece by piece. They say her laughter feels genuine, her smile unforced, her energy peaceful. All these small observations are being woven into the narrative, painting her as someone who turned a shadowed chapter into a foundation of strength. Didn't just survive, she evolved. They say she didn't let fear steal her light, she let it sharpen her understanding of who she is. Many fans describe her journey as proof that trauma doesn't have to define a person forever. They think she turned every painful memory into a stepping stone, building a life that reflects her growth rather than her past. And even though the full truth remains known only to her, the emotional portrait painted by fans is one of resilience. They imagine a woman who walked out of darkness and into her own power, who learned to trust herself again, who found love without fear, who rebuilt her career with confidence, who created a life that she controls. This is the version of her the internet has embraced, the survivor who rose quietly, gracefully, and without needing to expose every detail of her past. Whatever happened during those years, the story people weave now shows one thing clearly. They see her as someone who refused to let her worst moments define her best years. And that image has only made her more admired, more respected, and more cherished by those who have followed her journey closely. In the end, no one knows the full truth of what Christina lived through except her. But the pieces she has shared and the moments fans believe they've uncovered paint a picture far more complex than anyone expected. What started as quiet hints has now grown into a powerful conversation, one that has people re-evaluating everything they thought they knew about her journey. Through every rumor, every resurfaced clip, every emotional pause, one message keeps rising to the surface. She didn't just survive her past, she transformed it. She didn't allow the darkness to swallow her. She built a life so bright that the shadows could never reclaim her. And that is exactly why so many viewers feel connected to her story. Whether the speculation is completely accurate or shaped by how fans interpret her words, the emotional impact is undeniable. People see a woman who carried fear, learned from it, and chose to move forward with strength. They see someone who rebuilt trust, rebuilt confidence, and rebuilt her entire life without losing her sense of self. It's this quiet rise that has captured the internet's attention, not because it's dramatic, but because it feels deeply human. As this conversation continues, one question keeps echoing online. How many of us would have survived something like that and still found the courage to reclaim our joy? That is what makes her journey so powerful, even in the parts she never fully shares. If you followed her story this far, then you already know her resilience speaks louder than any rumor. And now we want to hear from you. What do you think about everything that's been discussed? Do you think there's more to the story, or is the internet reading too much between the lines? Share your thoughts below, hit the like button if this deep dive had you hooked, and subscribe for more breakdowns just like this. Your opinion matters here, so don't be shy, jump into the comments and let's talk.